Hello, good morning. This is teacher Jacob. Today, we're going to have class with seventh grade. Okay. So remember, today we're going to have class. Let me see here a little bit. All right. Today, we're going to have class with seventh grade. And the class for today is reading class. So remember, reading class is very important, especially a new vocabulary that you need to look. You need to find out, you need to investigate, you need to look for at the dictionary and find the words that you don't understand. And don't forget, it's mandatory to have words in your learning. I mean, in your English. If you want to understand reading comprehension, you need to know that it's very important to have vocabulary. Okay, so let's go. Today we're gonna have definitely we're gonna have class with seventh grade. Don't forget, and let's go. Let's go for reading class. And today. Um, Today, we're going to study about reading. So remember, 84 is reading as this reading, but you need to go to the next page, I mean 85, and notice this. You need to answer the activity 1, 2, and 3, and 4, okay? Four activities that you need to write, okay, or do in your house. All right, so let's go to reading comprehension. So this is what I want you to know. Remember, uh, um, reading class you need to do four activities. Activity number one, remember, you must have to circle the words that you don't understand. For example, I don't understand what it means isolated. I don't know what it means. I mean, so I circle two. In general, ingenious. I don't know what is that. Indigenous reserve. I don't know what is that. Greatest and being, for example, mining, uh, trafficking, a forest. I don't know what it means that. Find, work, bodies, disease, disease. I don't know what it fall, diet. First look at the dictionary and circle the words that you don't understand. Very necessary. It is mandatory. It is like an obligation to look for the words that you don't understand in this reading. So circle the words that you don't understand. Activity 1. Activity 2 is underline the verbs, only the verbs in the reading comprehension. So, for example, is you underline red color underline. You're gonna use the pen or color red verbs, red color. Okay, is for example here have is one, being is another verb, and live is another verb. Find, work. Oh, well, this could be have. Work is a verb and also is a noun, but it's okay, a verb. Fall, you underline fall, underline. Uh, diet is also and what else? And traveled, underline. Okay, and that's what I need you to do. Activity 3 is listen, read, and speak. You're gonna do 3 activities. Listen, read, and speak. The idea is that you can repeat after me. One very slow. Let's go very slow, okay? Let's go for the reading comprehension. Listen, read, and speak. One, two, three. Out and about. Isolated tribes. The Javari Valley Indigenous Reserve is a protected area of Amazonian rainforests in Brazil. It is the home of the greatest concentration of isolated groups of indigenous people anywhere in the world. Indigenous people have often been the victims of illegal hunting, mining, drug trafficking, and cattle ranching. If they leave the forest, they cannot find work, and because their bodies have no resistance to common Western disease, they often fall ill and die in terrible conditions. Most people, most of the people in the Javari Valley prefer to avoid contact with the outside world. They live in the middle of the rainforests in communal longhouses called malokas. They they cultivate gardens for food and hunt animals with bows and arrows. They use plants from the forest for medicine. In the past, outsiders tried to contact these isolated groups. They traveled upriver by canoe and walked over the mountains and through the dense rainforest. If they found an isolated group, they gave the Aborigines presents and tried to convince them to move out of the forest. Nowadays, governments protect these groups. Researchers must respect the culture of the indigenous tribes and must not try to change them with Western technologies and teachings. They must also keep the location of the tribes a secret. In this way, anthropologists hope to preserve the tribe's culture and knowledge. All right, very good and interesting reading. Okay, activity 4 is you need to go to the comprehension. But before this reading comprehension, so you go to the next page and you need to complete this. Read the title of the article and underline what you think it is about. So this is about tribes that do not know where they are. B, tribes that they have disappeared forever. C, tribes with a little or no contact with other people. So the best title for this is letter C. Okay. So the reading talks about tribes with little or no contact with the people. Okay. So this is the best title. Read the article and check your answer. So let me see. Let me see if is that true or not. So now is listen and read mentally. Concentration. Let's do it. Let's go. Isolate tribes. The Javari Valley Indigenous Reserve is a protected area of Amazonia rainforest in Brazil. It is the home of the greatest concentration of isolated groups of indigenous people everywhere in the world. Indigenous people have often been the victims of illegal hunting, mining, and drug trafficking, and cattle ranching. If they leave the forest, they cannot find work, and because their bodies have no resistance to common Western disease, they often fall ill and die in terrible conditions. Most of the people in the Javari Valley prefers to avoid contact with the outside world. They live in the middle of the rainforest in a communal long houses called malokas. They cultivate gardens for food and hunting animals with bows and arrows. They use plants for the forest for medicine. In the past, outsiders consider try in the past, outsiders try to contact this isolated group. They travel up rivers by canal and walked over the mountains and through the dense and great forest. If they found an isolated group, they gave Aborigines presents and tried to convince them to move out of the forest. Nowadays, governments protect these groups. Researchers must respect the culture of the indigenous tribes and must not try to change them with Western technologies and teachings. They must also keep location of tribes a secret. In this way, anthropologists help to preserve the tribe's culture and knowledge. All right. So according to this reading, so let's do it. Let's complete the exercise. So you notice in general, they're talking about indigenous, this people who don't like, or Indians who don't like to be in contact with white people or with technology people. All right. And as well. So let's do it. Uh, Three, read the article again and answer the questions. Why is the Javari Valley special? Why it is special? Why? Because of isolated groups of indigenous people. So they live. This is the place, and this is the Javari Valley. This is the place where there are a lot of indigenous people living there. That's the reason. Okay. B. What What often happens when indigenous people leave the rainforest? So when these people leave the rainforest, they mostly died. Look, they often fall ill and die in terrible conditions. So they must uh, fall ill and die in terrible conditions. C. What is the traditional lifestyle of people in the Javari? So, what is the traditional lifestyle of the people in the Javari Valley? So, it talks and how the people are in this place. So, this in this place, people um, they are, I mean, they live in the in the middle of the forest, in the common long houses, call it malokas, and they cultivate garden for food and hunt animals. with balls and around.